Hello, my loves. Welcome to the It's Witchcraft Imbolc video. If you are new to witchcraft or just looking to reconnect with some of the foundational basic tenets of sabbats, this video is meant for you. So we are talking about Imbolc, which is a sabbat that is celebrated from February 1st into sunset of February 2nd. And it really is in honor of the beginning of the awakening towards spring, even though we are still in winter. And we're really connected to the goddess Breed, Brehid, or Brigid, however you prefer to say that. And traditionally, we look at this when we're working with the Celtic wheel of the year as a time when the lambs were born. There is an emphasis on that fertility. There's a slow awakening and turn towards spring that we are beginning. And this is really what we are celebrating, the fertility, the light, beginning to open to that energy. Within the medicine wheel, we are moving from the north into the east. We're working with the elements of water here as well as fire, because Breed is associated with the hearth fire within the home as well. When we think about colors we would associate with this sabbat that you might wish to decorate your altar space with: white, green, blue. Think of the early first shoots of the plants in spring. I often think of, even though it's not quite that time here, the idea of daffodils, or those beautiful little flowers in the spring that start to peek their head through the snowfall. And I'm always especially drawn to the energy of rebirth and fertility with this particular sabbat. I personally connect with Breed around the aspect of poetry. She was told in her lore to have invented the Scottish tradition of keening. And there is a deep poetic and artistic power to this goddess, as well as an energy of healing and fertility. So if you are looking to connect with this sabbat personally, those are beautiful themes to explore for yourself: healing, fertility, artistic essence, and creativity. And I find I really love to leave offerings of poetry that I myself may have sat and crafted in honor of the sabbat, or in honor of a particular goddess I feel called to work with for this sabbat observance myself. I always work with Breed for this particular sabbat, but I often bring in other faces of the goddess for this particular sabbat, which for our community observance, which is entitled Sacred Dawn, because I always associate again this sabbat with the sunrise and beginning to turn and move in the direction of the light. For this particular Sacred Dawn observance this year in 2025, the year I'm recording this video, we are working with the witch Circe as well. I felt this fire of creativity and dark feminine essence of empowerment, divination, and witchcraft for this particular sabbat this year. And so you may feel called to explore some of those themes in your own practice and journey as well. Many witches choose to craft effigies of Breed and place that on their altars. Flames are often lit, lamp or candle flame. You can work with incense as well for this sabbat, such as frankincense. I particularly really like to work with white copal for this sabbat. I think there's something about that scent to me, this kind of smoky, energizing scent, this kind of clearing incense that really lends itself well to this particular observance. And I like to work with oak as a sacred tree energy and essence. And many people work with sheep or lamb representations on their altar. I do like to leave a small glass of milk as an offering for Breed as well, so you may feel called to do that. But I think most of all, it's powerfully a sabbat about reconnecting to our own creativity, turning towards the sun, feeling the light of dawn, knowing that even in all the cold slumber of winter, we are beginning to move towards that powerful, fertile energy of spring, where the weather is warmer and we're all feeling more inspired, like we can take off our layers of clothes and let ourselves feel the light of the sun on our skin. So it's such a powerful sabbat for just feeling rejuvenated, awakened, alive. I always feel more creative for this particular Sabbath, you can tell by the way I've dressed today, I always want to play with colors that represent feminine magic for me, particularly dark feminine magic, because that's the bent that I have aesthetically, but also as a witch in my practice. And so connecting with Circe in her power, in her ability to take any of her circumstances and find a perspective of creating her place within that, and also working her magic to her best interests in those situations, is something that I think is incredibly empowering. And as witches on our journey, co-creating with the Wheel of Fortune in our experiences is so much a part of our journey. And I think this is a lovely Sabbath to represent that. But if you're looking for a way to start connecting with her, I would recommend working with some poetry. You know, go ahead and do some research, find some poems that speak to you, write those out, place those on your altar, write your own poetry, connect with an aspect of artistic expression that feels fulfilling and inspiring for you. And then, you know, dialogue with Breed around this. Work with her energy to help amplify that essence. It's so empowering. It's such a beautiful Sabbath of awakening, of rebirth, and fertility. So tap into the things that inspire you around that, and let that feed your own personal observance, your offerings, and your practice. For me, this is a Sabbath that I do connect with the Fae around, so I definitely recommend working with decks like the Fairies Oracle, the Heart of Fairies Oracle, both by Brian Froud. The Abyssal Tarot is a deck I really love to work with for this Sabbath. The Ritual Tarot by Tierra May, the Woodland Wardens Oracle, the Wildwood Tarot, the Thistledown Oracle, Oak, Ash, and Thorn Tarot, the Archetypes Oracle, even, can't believe I'm going to say this, but I am, the Somnia Tarot, as well as particularly Journey into the Hidden Realm and the Witch Sister Tarot are decks that I love to work with for this particular Sabbath. And so if you're looking for some inspiration there, those are decks that can help you find yourself connecting to the energy of reawakening. And in your tarot spreads for this Sabbath, I would encourage you to look at, how can I feel myself embracing the light within and opening up to my own creativity? Crystal-wise, mineral-wise, stone-wise, I really like to work with selenite, clear quartz, amber, and citrine. And let me just double check my notes here, guys. Oh, herb-wise, rosemary and cinnamon. And many people do work with symbols for the sun. And you can also work with the Triskele. I always say that wrong, but it's the Celtic triple goddess symbol. You can work with that as well. And again, I really like to work with quartz for this. I love clear quartz anyhow, but I particularly love to work with clear quartz for this Sabbath because for me, it's so energizing and clearing. And I have a beautiful clear quartz pendant crafted by the artisan and creatrix Elizabeth French. I will try to remember to put her link in the description box below. This beautifully crafted clear quartz piece that I'm going to wear on the observance of Imbolc itself, which again is February 1st into February 2nd at sunset. And then Candlemas, St. Breed's Day, that happens on the 2nd of February as well. It's the Christian appropriation of the original Sabbath, which is in its own way, its own experience. But you can flow in between those energies. And I would say as well, it's a wonderful time to engage in any form of energy work or healing work that feels very supportive of your physical being, but also your soul's journey as well. I really like to engage in aspects of energy work, such as Reiki or sending and receiving energy with a trusted friend and confidant. This type of energy building just helps one to feel rejuvenated and clear with this beautiful Sabbath as well. It's just working beautifully with that energy. So let me just see, let me make sure I said everything in my notes. And again, working with sheep or lamb symbolism, milk, those type of offerings to the goddess. There's also something else I wrote, here was reconnecting with nature. And I would say definitely lean into the element that speaks to you the most. I shared with my Patreon peeps recently in the second bonus video of the month over in our community there that on Imbolc itself this year, I'm actually going to be somewhere near the woods for my son's basketball game. And I'd like to get some time to stand out in the woods and just feel a reconnection to nature. So that's a beautiful way to do that. But whether it's the woods, a lake, the ocean, a mountain, even just some of the potted plants in your home, taking some time to just connect with that energy and feel yourself tapping into the awakening of nature and the earth herself can be a beautiful way to honor the Sabbath, particularly if you're moving through a year or a space within the wheel where you don't have a lot of energy right now. This is a Sabbath that doesn't require a great deal of work. For me, it's an expansive opening Sabbath. And so even if all you do this particular Sabbath for yourself this year is just take a moment to reconnect with nature in some of the ways I just said, that can be a beautiful way to honor the Sabbath and honor the first stirrings of new life in the winter season as well, so that you can feel connected to your gods and your path in the earth herself. But it is a beautiful Sabbath as well to connect with the Fae. I kind of look at it as the Fae and their mischievous light. Like the card "Oh That Gnome" from the Fairies Oracle. They seem to me to be quite silly and precocious for this particular Sabbath. So that's a wonderful way to connect with the energy of this Sabbath as well. So let me know in the description box below how you are going, in the description box below, in the comments down below, what decks you're working with for this Imbolc, what you want to do in your Sabbath observance. Even if I can't speak correctly, you know what I mean. But let me know how you are choosing to observe this particular Imbolc. I'm really, really feeling finally more like myself again, creatively inspired, and so grateful to be able to step into this beautiful Sabbath space, feeling the voice of the goddess and the call to create. It's such a joy and something that is to be savored, not taken for granted. So I am sending you guys, as always, oceans of love. You know I will see you in the next video. Take care.